All right, today we got a brand new Salem Master 62cc 20-inch chainsaw. It's offered in 18-inch chains as well. And we're gonna show you a quick assembly, start procedure, and how to keep your chainsaw running good. All right, so we got the tools here. Extra string if you ever need it for your pull starter. But this is pretty much your main tool. It actually fits pretty handy in the woods whenever you need it. Right here on the bottom of your chainsaw motor. But today we're going to take off of the chain brake. All right, taking off the chain brake. Unlock it so that it can easily come off, and that opens up this spring. Here's your clutch. All right, you need to remove the black washer. That's a spacer here, and it needs to be removed, so throw that away. If you don't have it, that's okay. You don't need it. It may be in the instructions still, but what that was is to keep a space between your chain brake and the chainsaw itself during packaging. It's simply just for packaging, and it's a replacement. All right, just want to make a quick reference here, a quick note. These are 0.325 of an inch in the spacing. That's the spacing between the teeth that go inside the gears here of your chainsaw. So note that when you go to buy a new chain, there's some that come in 3.75 that will not fit, so this is 3.25, and it's important to fit on your Salem Master chainsaw. The thickness of the chain is 0.058. That's the gauge of the metal that was used to make the chain. And then there are 76 individual links when you have your chain opened up, and that's going to fit on the Salem Master chainsaw bar. All right, so we've talked about our chain size, but now we want to talk about putting our chain directly onto the drive shaft sprocket. So this sprocket here, it's loose. That's important, so when your bar is bending when you're cutting, the chain does not derail. So we want to put our chain inside of the sprocket rather than on the side on that shaft. So you'll see when I put the chain on, you'll want to do the chain first. And don't put it on like this. See, the teeth are facing this way. Make sure the teeth are facing forward on that top row. So that's the way that the chain is going to go. You'll see that when we put the bar on. But here we are. I'm making sure the chain fell right in, and it does pretty easy. So you want to make sure the chain is inside the drive sprocket. Now we're going to put on our bar. Here we are. This is a good reference for that chain to make sure the teeth are facing forward. Easy thing to mess up. Slide your bar all the way back. So now we got our bar on. Line your chain up into the bar. You won't be able to get the bottom. It'll be loose at the moment. All right, so now it's time to put your chain brake on. Make sure this pin is lined up into this bottom hole right here, this big hole. Sometimes people try to put it here. It will bend the adjustment screw. All right, so putting on the chain brake here, we're lining up the pin inside the hole on the side of the bar. That's a good way to do it, is just by looking down. And we were looking in there. It looks like it's not gonna line up. We need to have the pin come back a little bit. So don't try to put the nuts on until you have this settled in. So here we go. Adjusting this pin back. And there it goes. It slides in like a glove. So here we are. We're gonna hand tighten the nuts next. So we just hand tighten that. And you can see our chain's loose now. We're gonna use the chain tensioner now to slide the bar out. So righty-tighty. And you can see now the chain is a little tighter, but we wanna go just a little bit tighter. And a good rule of thumb, you'll see once we get the chain totally tight, you don't want the chain to be able to come out of the bar. One quick tip is with a new chain, it's gonna loosen itself pretty quickly. So I didn't tighten those too tight because I still want to be able to get that final little tweak on the tightness. So we need to go just a little tighter. And you'll know if you're too tight that the chain wouldn't move. So it's not moving, we need to go just a little bit looser. All right, that should be good. Final tightening on the nuts. Get these pretty snug. That's gonna hold your bar in place. All right, so we've got our chain on here. It's tight, it still moves, but you still wanna make sure it's on the sprocket and it hasn't fallen off. Sometimes it can, but we're still good here.